What's up, y'all? I had to make a new commercial because my eyebrows grew back, so I couldn't keep running that same ad. Plus, a couple people complained. Fuck y'all, first of all. It's a great commercial, but gotta make the people happy, right? If I want y'all to buy t-shirts, I gotta keep y'all happy, you know? But now that I'm broke and struggling to make ends meet because YouTube demonetized me, you gotta help me not turn homeless, not be homeless. So in order to help me not be homeless, you gotta buy some t-shirts. Hey, even if you don't like me, do it for Kane. Have you seen Kane? Have you seen how beautiful that dog is? Let me show y'all to remind y'all how beautiful Kane is. So let me share the screen. Look at this puppy. Look at you see that little puppy right there? That's Kane. If you don't buy t-shirts, Kane is gonna go hungry, man. He gonna be homeless, you know what I'm saying? You don't want him to be homeless. So support your boy by buying some tees. Wait a minute. What do y'all see? What do y'all see right now? Y'all see this, right? Y'all see the Teammacho? I'm sharing the screen, so hopefully y'all see this. Yeah, so you just go to the website. It's Teammacho.shop, and you can go for the Game Time tee. You got Game Time on the front, Teammacho on the back, or the I'm Not a Scientist tee. You got I'm Not a effing scientist. I'm a bodybuilder, baby, because that's what we do. You heard? And let me show Stu some love, too. It's my boy. Stu is moving to Dallas, so show him some love so he could afford moving to Dallas. You don't want him to have to move to the hood, right? You don't want Stu in the hood. You know, he look a little Puerto Rican. He might fit in, but be careful. You don't want him in the hood. You don't want him getting in no trouble. Support his shirts. You got Beef Stew, Fear to Fro. This is my favorite one, personally. Sophomore season. And then you got the Serious with the Beef Stew. This is cool, too, actually, with the abs and thighs. It's a good pose. But this is my favorite, personally. So stop what you're doing right now. Not right now, right now. And go cop you a couple of teas. Cop mine first. And then cop Stu's. But anyways, enjoy the podcast. I'm not supposed to curse, but motherfucker.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, people get into bodybuilding for money, but they're in for a rude awakening. I mean,
yeah. It's just not one of those things that I feel like lead with passion. It sounds corny, but just do what you enjoy. I think you'll always feel
if you
better.
get into the sport for money, because you can make a lot of money in this space, it's just that a lot of the people doing that are not doing it in the best way,
Exactly. Yeah.
and names come to mind, but it's like, I want to be a fucking charlatan who's all,
Yeah.
well known on social media, maybe like got some sort of good scam going on, whether it's
Mm.
coaching or supplements or
Yeah.
and you're making 6-7 figures a year, but I mean, everybody on the internet thinks very highly of you, but nobody in real
Boom.
life who actually knows you likes you. So many
Exactly.
people like that in this game. It's like,
Bro, I was just talking to my boy, right? The same thing applies. Let's say if I meet you and you're a billionaire, you're a self-made billionaire, right? Not your dad's money, not your husband's money. Right away, I'm like, oh, you seem like a nice guy, but nice guys don't become billionaires, motherfucker. Not self-made. So same way, if you're on the internet, like you just said, and you're in the fitness space and you're making a lot of money off the internet, chances are you're I don't want to be rude, but usually the people who are really good at that are like con artists. Like, let's be real. Like they're actors slash con artists. Like those people make a killing off the internet, bro, because they don't give a fuck about morals. They don't give a fuck about anything but making money. Now, if that's the case, you can make a killing off the internet. If you give no fucks about anything but money, you'll make a killing off the internet. But we don't. A lot of us we can't do that. You know. Wait, something happened with your audio. No, it just randomly cut out. It was just good though right now. It was just good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just on my phone now.
Oh,
Nothing
perfect.
works.
Actually, I mean, your audio is actually perfect now. Believe it or not.
Great.
This is why we say keep it basic, right? The basic shit works. No, okay. You don't become essentially the way the world works is if you follow the rules, you don't actually make a lot of money by following the rules. In order to become rich, like really rich, you have to kind of do further. You have to break the law. Can't really follow the rules. And if you really want to get to that next level, you kind of have to be a little scummy. You kind of have to, do the wrong thing. I just watched a documentary. I didn't even know this. The same guy that created the Backstreet Boys created NSYNC. And I'm like, wait, I thought they were like battling each other. And then he was like, hey, listen, when you're on top, eventually somebody's going to come knock you off. Might as well create your own competition. So he created his own competition to overthrow the Backstreet Boys. And then now they're both battling for his love. And it's crazy. And I'm like, this guy's really smart. But apparently he had no money and it was all scamming and all this shit. And I'm like, you see, it's like to be in that position, like the morally sound people don't end up in those positions. But anyway, so to go back to social media, a lot of these people, they'll you have to fake it almost, right? We just do basic workouts on there because this is what training really looks like. If we wanted to, we could all try to act super smart and say, well, you have to do it this way, and then this way is like this, and just to get people to be like, oh, that's how Stu got big. You have the physique, so you could easily con people, be like, oh, Stu grew his arms because he was doing these fucking curls from the back of his head and under, and people will believe you. Like, let's be real, they'll believe you, and you'll be able to sell all kind of ebooks and fucking apps and all types of shit, and you would make a lot of money. But I know you, and I know you don't have that in you. It's just not something. Listen, we all want money, but it's like how we get it. To some of us is important, man. We don't have any desire to put on an act. I don't know.
I would say it's not accurate to say that you can't get rich doing things by the book, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you have a solid professional career and you do it for 35, 40 years,
old school,
save up in a 401k and you don't make dumb purchases, if you started doing that in 1985, then you're probably a multimillionaire by now, simply because the market and the conditions that were set up for them. Now, somebody in my position who's like 27 instead of 67, that's much less of an appealing. I mean, for one thing, like the idea of working the same job for 35 years, I think I'd blow my brains out in a couple of years trying to do that. But beyond that, my dad, by the time he was my age, I think he was 26, he already owned his first home. And it was like, it was just so much more achievable for them at that time. Agreed. Nowadays, it's just like the fucking margins and the odds the numbers are so out of whack for people who are in their 20s right now. I want to own a home eventually, and I'm one of the lucky few who will be able to, I think. But it's It's far from a given for the average person.
No,
With basing that down, it's like you want to work for 40 years and have a living, just barely getting by, and then maybe be able to afford your own home eventually, or do you want to take a chance on doing something you love?
exactly. Yeah.
It's a hard
And
question.
also, I think anybody born like probably in the 90s and later, like we also, part of us, we want to enjoy our lives now as well, right? If we can, to the best of our abilities. We don't want to like wait decades to really reap the benefits, right? Which is what's causing us to like shy away from jobs and want to like start businesses right away and stuff like that, which is a great mindset. But I don't know about, I feel like it's not as easy as people think it is. Everybody wants to own something,
No, it's like you see fucking TikToks of like some guy who's like, yeah, I made 6 figures last year running my own business, and I did drop shipping or like some dumb
Yeah.
shit like that. Like, first of all, this guy is lying, and second of all, like the number of people who try to do that and actually succeed are like very minimal. You have to have something very special about you to actually be successful doing your own thing. Sometimes it's as simple as like being good at something and working your ass off.
Exactly.
Now, in the bodybuilding world, you have to be good at it. You have to work your ass off, and you have to get super lucky. Because a lot of good bodybuilders out there, fucking 95% of the 212 division, for example, they don't make dick from this sport. Actually, 95% of all competitors in all professional divisions, including men's open, like we don't really make any money off of it.
No. Well, the funny part is people have it backwards, right? The people who people think are making a living are not the ones, right? Who's actually making a living, right? And you start looking, and you're like, huh? And you look at like somebody like Honey, right? You're like, Honey, you start doing some math. You're like, wait, Honey's making more money than all these bodybuilders. Even a lot of people who he's coaching who are winning Olympias, he's making more money than them. You ever thought of that? You know what I'm saying? Or, I mean, we could go down a list for Chris Aceto has, he does real estate or whatever, but if you go down the lane, like these promoters, well, I don't really know judges. I feel like a lot of judges are promoters, so they make, so they make money, anyways. But it's like you start looking at the back end, somebody's like fucking Jason Hunt as a bodybuilder made dick. And now you don't even see his face. I don't even know how he looks like anymore. But guess what? That motherfucker rich now. So it's like you start. It's like with people think rappers are so rich. Obviously, if you're Drake, you're fucking rich. But most rappers aren't rich. They have all these jewelry and shit. They get it for free. It's a what do you call it? It's for like a persona, And I know this because I've trained rappers. And a lot of them are really tight asses because they don't really have that much money. Now, who's making the money? The fucking producers are making a shit ton of money. But nobody's like, I want to grow up and be a producer, right? Because it's not cool. But you don't have to be cool to be rich. A lot of these cool people aren't rich. The people who keep their mouth shut and you don't know what the fuck is going on are the rich ones. One of the richest people I know, I don't even know what car he drives. He parks like around the corner somewhere. I've seen it once. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a nice car. You wouldn't know. He comes in the most plain outfits ever, walks in the gym. Everybody probably thinks he's just a regular guy. Those are the people making money. The flashy people, I mean, they're not broke, but there's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? You're somebody who's going to make a lot of money, or you're going to, at least you're going to accumulate a lot of money because you're smart. You're not flashy, you're smart. You're young, but you're smart. So I know you're going to accumulate a lot of money. I say accumulate because you're not going to make these bulk fucking, you're not going to make money in bulk by doing these crazy scams, but you're smart enough that you know how to save. you know how to manage money, and you don't need much to make you feel good about yourself, right?
That's the thing. Like, I mean, like to throw numbers around, like I think I'd be comfortable making I mean, this numbers goes up over the years because everything gets way more expensive, but
For
like
sure.
if I can't see myself having a need for any more than like $100,000 a year grossing before taxes, you know? You know, between, I mean, beyond that, it's just like, how much is this actually improving my life? You know? I want to have some time to do my hobbies and some money for that. I want to do bodybuilding, and I want to be able to own a home. You know, that's my goals do not require exorbitant amounts of cash. Now, on the other hand, I also am aware of the fact that like I am, you know, one of the best in the world at this particular sport. You know, no, I can't win a fucking show, right? But like
but still,
men's open pro, right? And I haven't placed outside of the first call out for my career, basically.
Not many people can say that.
But you know, it's, you know, I know that the potential is there to make a lot more money if I'm smart about it. And, you know, why not? You know, as long as I'm not compromising morals and values and the other things that are important to me, you know, like spending time with my friends and family, and stuff like that. So, now I mean, how do I go about doing that? I mean, it's doing all the things that I suck at, you know, like making content, you know, that's what kind of gets me there. But, I think things will be a lot different once I'm down in Texas. That'll be a lot easier for me to do. So,
hey man, you might be one. You might be the wisest 27. You 27?
Yeah, 27 and a half.
Oh, 27 and a half. Okay,
three quarters.
No, you might literally be the wisest 27 year. I'll get back to 25. The wisest 27-year-old I know. Just from like a wisdom standpoint. You know, you don't have to be like. I think there's more benefit in that than being super textbook smart, like knowing all the little facts and shit. I think just being wise enough to understand life and understand that your loved ones. Listen, most bodybuilders your age don't understand the importance of their loved ones, right? Even Sean Ray will talk about it, like, oh, he didn't realize any of this until he retired, and he's like, damn, there's nobody there. I have nobody who loves me. I have no family, no. I mean, Sean Ray probably still does it. Nah, that's me. But like a lot of people don't have that foresight to understand that there's more to life. At this point, yes, this all-in mindset, but you can be all in at a certain moment and still understand that outside of this moment, once this prep is done and everything, you're going to allocate time. Some people don't understand.
Even if you are all in, it doesn't mean you have to not spend time with your friends and family or be an asshole to people. Like,
no,
it was like, you know, shaking hands and stuff at shows and up until like 2-3 weeks out this year. I mean, I was just happy and grateful to be there. I don't buy, because like the X's and O's of bodybuilding, right? You're just talking about like doing bodybuilding day to day. How many hours out of your day does that actually take? If you're doing it, you're Derek Lunsford and you are not missing a fucking beat. You are perfect, right? Maybe 5 to 6 hours a day between, you know, when you're in prep, when you're like prepping your meals, cardio, training, maybe massage, rehab, prehab, fucking injections, you know, like all in, that's like 6 hours out of your day. So you're at like, what is that, like 30 hours a week, 35 hours a week of work? Maybe. I mean, and it's like work that you enjoy doing. It's not particularly hard. So like, you know, when you have, I reject the idea that bodybuilding is a reason to not do all that other stuff. Like, no, you shouldn't be
Agree.
partying or like maybe going on vacations when you're close to a show, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't really care to do that anyways, any time of year.
Exactly. It's sometimes I kind of refrain from saying that, but I'll be talking to guys, and the way they talk about bodybuilding, it's like they think they're saving the world or something.
Yeah.
They think they think they're firefighters or some shit, or they're Marines. It's like they think because you're eating meals, working out, and sleeping all day that you have this like, I don't want to be rude, but it's like you're so important that you can't allocate any time to anybody else. Now, there's going to be a certain level of selfishness the closer you get to the show. That's fine. But all year long to act like nobody's important but yourself, I think you think too highly of yourself, or maybe too
It's
highly of
no,
the sport.
it's indicative of extreme arrogance. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're not doing this for anything besides yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing this to motivate and inspire other people. You're doing it to win a plastic trophy so you can feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's super selfish, and I think I don't. At the end of the day, nobody gives a shit. A lot of the time, nobody gives a shit at the highest level of the sport.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
like 3/4 of the year, nobody gives a shit about me.
Exactly.
I get a little blip of popularity when I'm on stage, and then
Bro,
it's like
yeah.
back to being a nobody, which I'm fine with personally because
Yeah.
that's how I spent most of my life. But I'll be honest, it's like it's kind of a mind fuck because you go from like people talking about you. I talked about this last year. Like I go from people talking about you when you're getting on stage, and then you're done competing, you didn't qualify, and right back to
Everybody
the ground.
forgets about it.
Like 9 months of okay, well, it's kind of like a dopamine dip.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm aware that it's going to happen. It still kind of gets me every fucking time. I got to be honest. It's
Yeah.
I hate that it affects me like that, but it does.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're still human, man. You're very mature, but we're all still human, and it happens so quick. You don't even notice it happening in real time. Like there was one time Patrick Moore. Everybody was talking about Patrick Moore, and then a year later, everybody forgot. Yeah, I can even say like Brett Wilkin is prepping right now, so he's starting to get in the news, but. He had that couple of years that everybody was talking about Burt Wilkill, and then boom, everybody forgets about him. And then it's like it's so short. People's attention span is so short that they can't. I mean, even I could even say like right now, most people are like Andrew's gonna be third, which I don't disagree with, but it's because what you've done for me now, right? But no, but you got to keep in mind that you still have Samson, you still have Nick, you still have people who have already been in that position. But if you didn't impress the shit out of me within the last 3 months, you're just out of sight, out of mind.
They're like goldfish, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. People were literally 2-3 years ago. Let's say 3 years ago. People are like, "Oh, Ramy can't be defeated. We've never seen somebody this big, or this wide, and good poser, and the side chest out of this world. This last spread, that's better than Ronnie. This guy, he might be better than Ronnie, motherfucker. Fuck, And then now it's like, oh, gotta get the fuck off the stage. And it's like, it's not even like his physique regressed that bad. Like, okay, he had like a little bit down in the tricep, which he filled back up somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow for the Arnold, he
He
filled back up that
hole in his quad. Like, well,
overnight
I mean, he had
stem
a
cells,
hole in his quad. I mean, yeah,
a
but
hole in his
some people
back.
don't even have quads, and they're still placing better than him.
100%, 100%. Yeah, some people don't have good arms or a good back and place well, so it's like, yeah, the guy's still fucking 3 something on stage, with wide as fuck, but everybody forgot about him at this point. It's like nobody cares, just like that. You got 2 Olympias, but you're the worst. Now you're the worst bodybuilder ever, motherfucker. You have 2 Olympias. How many people have 0 Olympias? Like, who wins Olympias? This is not a normal thing here we're talking about. So it's just one of those things. I think mentally you have to kind of be ready for that because everybody has a super short attention span. But yeah, but back to the bodybuilding thing, it's like imagine if people in other professions had this mindset, right? Like if you're a cop and you have a lot of cop friends, right, who have kids and families and spend a lot of time with them. You come home, oh, I had a busy day, there was a shootout. Nobody talked to me. Like, let me eat my meals. Everybody shut up. Like, like people who are actually doing important shit don't even behave that way.
Yeah.
So I think let's get over ourselves a little bit. It does take some maturity because make no mistake, like early on, even at a fucking local level, I got a little selfish at times. Maybe I didn't, treat my
Yeah, it
girlfriend.
seems like the most important thing in the world in the moment, which I guess it should. That's good for somebody who's, early on in the bodybuilding career to understand what that feels like to be all in on something. And you need
Yeah,
at certain points, but it can't just ruin the rest of your life. And I see a lot
no,
of people who, frankly, don't have a fucking hope in hell of doing anything in the sport. I see them let it ruin their lives and their health, and for what? For what, man?
yeah. There's there's no perspective. Now, I think it should be. I think this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was your mindset, right? You love it. You're passionate about it. If it happens, it happens. So you went to the USA. It wasn't like this is mine. I'm gonna destroy everybody. I'm gonna be a top pro. Boom, boom, boom. It was just I worked hard. I put on a lot of muscle. I'm in shape. I should be in the mix.
Yeah.
What happens
And
after that? Huh?
now my mindset is different, and it's not good because it's like now I've placed well enough to be kind of in contention, to win a show eventually, but it still hasn't happened. So I'm
Yeah,
placing these expectations on myself because obviously I want it to happen, but also other people have placed them on me.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I can't just, be because nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who most of the people were going into the USA's because it's an amateur show, right?
yeah,
Um, I can't really go back to that just incognito kind of mode that I used to be in.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I don't really know how to sort it out yet. Um, my mindset's still a little messed up. I'm checking off boxes. The last week or so has been a train wreck. Honestly, I because I've been over at my parents' house. They're all on vacation, so moved
Yeah.
out of my apartment into their place to watch it while they're gone, and then we're going to stay here until November when we move to Texas. Uh, and you know, my sleep schedule's just been all fucked up because I got a dog. Wakes up at 6 in the morning. Got to go for a walk. He's got to
I
take
saw that.
medication 3 times a day. It's just like it seems like not much, but it's like it's totally fucking with me.
Oh, trust
Um,
me. Yeah, I know it. It takes some time.
yeah, you got a puppy, and I've got a senior dog
Oh
who's
yeah,
requires some extra care. But
yeah.
yeah,
It's gonna
where
take
was I
some
going with
time.
that? Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just very stressed out right now, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of mentally, I'm like, okay, shit's just gonna be way better when I get down to Texas,
Hmm.
but that's still a month and a half away, and
You gotta get into a routine as well.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but but
it's
but
possible to get in right now.
mm, yeah, but a long term, it'll definitely be better. We had a podcast and we were talking about like your mindset, right? Like how you were more kind of like, hey, I'm still gonna put in the work. I'm gonna show up, but I don't have this ideology that I deserve to qualify or that I'm gonna just be a shoo-in for the Olympia or anything like that, right? And then I felt like sometimes we almost try to convince you that you should think like that. But then I was thinking, I was like, if I was in your position, I would think the exact same way, because I'm like, there's so many good guys, right? I feel like maybe we want you to think differently just because we tend to believe in other people more than ourselves, right? This is normal, right? So like we believe in you so much, we want you to believe in yourself the way we believe in you. But the truth is, I think if I was in your position, I would think the same way, just because you can't. Nobody deserves anything in this world. Everything is earned, and in a subjective sport, sometimes it's not up to you. Like sometimes it's not up to you to earn it. It's like somebody else has to. Somebody has to deem you. You know, somebody has to be like, "I deem you worthy, motherfucker." You know, is it really up to you?
Like, man, it feels like hopefully, eventually, I'm going to get the pass.
That nod, yeah. Like
the
Stu,
nod,
you got it. Hey, come here, Stu. Come here.
I don't know if they literally call you or what happens.
You'll find out.
Yeah. I'm like, you know how I'm not a criminal, but in organized crime, when somebody like gets passed, you know,
yeah,
you become a man, right?
Gotta be.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Get the phone call. Yeah, come down, have some dinner. Let's go to a restaurant. Have some food.
Where's something nice?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, bro, if we're talking about real life, being a mature adult, that is the best mindset to have, because you have to understand how not only the world works, but how this sport works. And it's up to you. Most of it is up to you. Now you've already done all the work that's up to you, right? That's already taken care of, right? You're already gonna eat the meals. You already put on all this muscle. You come in shape. You've already covered, you know, all your whatever you can cover. Now the rest.
Goes without saying, you have to come correct, right?
Obviously, yeah.
It's like that mindset is technically correct, but it makes you feel so fucking powerless.
It does. You know.
I guess given that this is kind of my job or part of it, competing, like I need to find ways to like take control in other parts of my life, you know?
Because
you brought up Bro Woken, right? They were talking about him like a ton years ago when he almost beat Hunter in Chicago. Remember that? And then, he didn't qualify that year, and then he won the Romania show next year, and then he couldn't compete last year, and now he's going to compete in a few weeks to get to the Olympic in 25
next year. Exactly. Yeah.
And Brett is somebody who is like, he's won a show before. Like he's very well reputed in the industry. I see no reason why they wouldn't want him at the Olympia, right?
Yeah.
But like sometimes shit just works out differently. Now, Brett also has a lot of other stuff going on. He's got
businesses.
He has a daughter. I mean,
that's
he's got other things that he he has other things going on that probably make him feel fulfilled.
100%. Yeah.
And like he has control over them. So I think all that other shit that is frankly more important than getting a qualification. That's what I need to get better at. And for me, part of that, a lot of it is like just being around friends, which I haven't been. I've had like basically no friends up here for a year now. And I was talking. There was I mentioned like it was real exciting during the season when I was doing events and guest posing and whatever the fuck, right? Because I mean, the biggest reason is because I got to hang out with other bodybuilding people and interact with my friends and stuff, because I don't get to do that at home 99% of the time. When I go on a trip somewhere, whether it's an expo or a show or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, I'm in my element now. And I most of the time I'm just not in my element. And that's another reason why now that I've, haven't been traveling as much now, which is kind of nice, I just haven't spent time around my people. And that's another reason why, that dopamine thing is just falling off a cliff.
Yeah. Okay, so we talk about Bro Wilkin with the businesses, right? We talked earlier, like you only allocate so much time to bodybuilding anyways, right? So having these businesses, I don't believe take away from your bodybuilding per se. If you let it, maybe, but I don't believe it takes away. So where Regan Grimes, for years, everybody's saying he's doing it wrong because he's focusing too much on business. And now I'm like, okay, wait 10 years from now. Everybody's going to say he did it fucking right. Because Regan is a top 10 Olympian. So if he didn't have any of these businesses that didn't make any money, you think okay, so how high you think he even plays? Is he going to be a top 3 guy because he doesn't have, I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think he would be higher. Maybe one placing higher, but he's not going to all of a sudden. These guys' genetics are next level. These top 5, 6 guys. Is he going to all of a sudden break into the top 5 because he stopped allocating time to business or having a kid? I don't believe he would be a better bodybuilder. Like I said, maybe 5%, 10%. Should you give up all this, setting yourself up for the future for 5%? I don't know. I don't think you should.
Fuck no. I mean, you're already one of the best in the world.
Exactly.
I don't think Regan is ever going to win an Olympia, you know? Mm-hmm. But, you know, he can stay a competitive guy for year after year. And, you know, that's more than most of us could ever hope for.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because people say, well, look at his structure, look at his genetics. If he just focused, he would be. First of all, let's not assume the guy isn't working hard. Like we can't just assume that, you know, because he's working. Like, I mean, you should be working. You're a good ass fucking man. I mean, let's not assume you're not working hard when it's time, right? But also, everybody has good structure and genetics. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Everybody with good structure and genetics isn't Mr. Olympia. Like the whole entire anybody who qualifies for the Olympia. Almost everybody, let's say at least 15 guys have top-notch Olympia genetics, but everybody can't be Mr. Olympia. That's just not how it works. You know, like you have to be, further, you have to be chosen. You have to go out for dinner. You gotta have everything right going for you. And sometimes, I mean, there's some luck involved. There has to be some luck involved. Like they like you, you know, like we look at these lineups, like some of the shows you did. Motherfucker, how do you pick that top 5? This one has a bigger waist. This one has a smaller waist. This one's a little bit leaner. This one's motherfucker, y'all all look fucking amazing in your own way.
The more shows I watch, the less I understand bodybuilding judging. Because and this isn't to throw shade at the judges or anything, because
no,
I what I'm saying is I literally don't understand it. Not that they're doing it wrong, but like they have a top 5, and I can't even disagree with it, because like you can make arguments for any of those guys being in that position, you know.
Anybody,
and you'll have like Tim Budesheim in like 8th, who could have been 3rd at 100%. Any given show, you know. And I don't know what to do with it anymore. And again, it's one of those things that just makes you feel fucking powerless.
Exactly. Well, and this is most shows, but even more specifically, like I remember the Cal Pro. I'm just looking, and I don't know. And listen, if I was a judge, I mean, people might disagree with me too. Like, let's keep it a buck, because it's so subjective. Like the way I would have had it, there would have been a lot of people be like, "Yo, Beatty, I don't agree with that," because it is subjective. But I'm looking at y'all. I'm like, y'all big, y'all ripped, y'all. I mean, shit. So many people look good. How the fuck do you even place it? So at what point are you just like, I just prefer this just because, you know? Because, like, you know, people say, well, look at Nick's waist. Well, should his waist just disqualify him from winning any shows? I don't think so. But it does play a part. I mean, it plays a big part, you know? And then let's say somebody like, who's the guy? I've seen guy. Okay, what's the guy that the British guy? Lewis Breed.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, he would win shows, but his waist is so bad. I'm like, is it really that fucking bad, bro? He has perfect abs.
It's quite good.
That's what I'm saying. Look,
I remembered it being worse from last year. I think he actually improved a lot this year. He's just like he's not like the widest guy, right? So his ball silhouette is not like Samson
Dennis
Dow,
Wolf.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Listen, man.
they call him the brick for a reason.
Listen, by no means is he a pretty physique, but does that disqualify him from ever winning a fucking show? If he's coming in huge and shredded, I don't think that should be the case. Me personally, and I'm somebody who likes aesthetics, but aesthetics has to show up, motherfucker. Aesthetics has to be on point too. We can't just say, "Oh, genetically, you're just better structure wise, you're gonna beat all these guys who are better bodybuilders than you." You know, so it's like when you're picking these lineups, in my head, I'm kind of like, well, you could make the case, but okay, Bruno just beat. Well, he beat everybody, right? And I think Bruno's a freak. I think he's a freak. I think he has really round muscle bellies and he's big and full. But you kind of look and he's kind of like, huh. I can make some cases for other people winning that motherfucking show, bro. Further on, Presti is fucking. Listen, these I don't believe these legs are weakness anymore. You know, he's not fucking Hunter Labrada in the legs. But if it distracting to you, I was not distracted by his legs whatsoever.
Oh no, I wasn't either.
I didn't even notice it. If nobody else, everybody was insane. Bruno beat him on legs. And I'm looking, I'm like, is Bruno really beating him on the legs? From the back shots, actually, no. Presti's legs actually look better. And besides the front shots, because Bruno has good sweeps, right? I'm like, Bruno came back so tighter in the last show. I'm like, that's nice that he improved. But guess what? Presti is still way fucking tighter, motherfucker. You know? Yeah, you improved, but he's still tighter than you. So, I don't know, man. It's like you just said. Sometimes, we're not judges, so I'm not saying we're right and they're wrong, but just that it's so subjective that you could literally make a case for anybody. You know, let's say you wanted to move Nick Walker all the way down to 6th or 7th, right? You could just say, well, his waist, and then everybody would be like, oh yeah, that's Big Ramy. Exactly. You could use, or you could say Samson goes from 3rd to 7th. Why Samson 7th? The condition. And you'd be like, well, but he was never really in shape this whole time, man. What changed? So you could, like you said, with Big Ramy, you know, like you can really justify anything, honestly. Oh, why did Heidi beat Derek? Oh, you know, he didn't have the hardness here. Okay, but he did from behind. There's always a way. So when it comes to judging, sometimes, man, you just fucking show up. You show up. Man.
Yeah. To summarize, fuck it, we ball. We're just gonna keep on doing this.
Exactly.
And see what happens, and
100%.
pray for the best.
100%. Yeah. I mean, shit. For myself, man, I don't even want to talk about shows anymore. You know, if somebody asks me, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna just show up somewhere and then you tell me. I don't have anything to say at this point.
This is one of the reasons why I don't like doing show predictions. Because I don't even after the show, I'm like scratching my head sometimes. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's just like, okay, what was the rationale here? What did you reward? What did you punish? Right? Because nobody's perfect. Before the show, when I don't even know who the fuck is going to look like what, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, and you know, the predictions, you know, these people are my peers technically, if they hear me say I had them in 4th,
they don't like that.
They're going to take that personally, and understandably so. I mean, you know, I get a little chip on my shoulder when people say like I'm going to be like 5th or 6th or something. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, fuck you. I get it. So I just abstain from that bullshit because it is throwing darts at a board in the dark with a blindfold on.
Yeah, no, it's literally like barbershop talk because the shit holds no bearing. Like you said before the show, but even after the show, you still sometimes don't. Okay, why did Brandon Curry beat Andrew Jack? They both weren't shredded, you know. One is 50 pounds heavier. I mean, you could make a case for Andrew being, so it's like it's just one of those things. But what was that show that Bruno won? What show was that?
It was the Europa Pro in England.
Did we look at that show at all on the podcast?
I don't know. I haven't been on in like a week and a half, dude. I've been running around like an idiot trying to move.
I gotta be honest. I don't even remember what the fuck we talk about on the podcast. When it's over and I'm thinking about the title, I'm like, bro, what the fuck did we talk about? I don't. I can't even remember. But let me see. But that show was a while ago. Now it's.
It's like a week ago.
Okay.
1 week ago, yeah.
And what do we have left, bro? Before the Olympia?
That's the last qualifier for men's open. I think I think there was one. Actually, no, the classic physique qualification deadline just passed yesterday. And wait,
oh yeah,
no.
yeah. Well, yesterday.
The show, the show, the classic pro show they had yesterday. I forget the name of it because there's a fucking million of them. Yeah, the Titans. Yeah. Michael DeBull won that, and he's qualified for 25 now. So we're done. And there are 53 guys qualified for the Classic Olympia. I know we already talked about this, but what the fuck, bro? I mean, what the fuck?
At that point, would you if you qualified for the Classic Olympia, would you even show up at that point? Like, unless you're a top 10 guy.
Yeah, I would show up. It's got to be a pretty cool experience to be backstage at the Olympia. You know, actually, Nathan Joyner, he won the classic overall at the USA's in 22. He's got like kind of a mullet and like a mustache. The guy who lives in Utah. He got qualified earlier in the year for this year. He actually did the show this weekend because he was already in shape. But like, he won his pro debut and then he's going straight to the O. How cool is that? Fuck yeah,
that's really fun. That's really fucking cool. What's his Instagram? You know the Instagram?
It's like Nady J, I think.
Nady J.
Yeah.
With a Y like Natty or no?
Natey.
Let me see. I think I see Nady. Oh yeah, Nady J. Yeah, boom. Let me share the screen. Yeah, but people take that for granted these days, right? That's like standard now. People think they don't realize how difficult it is to actually win your debut.
Yeah, I think he still lives in Utah, which is crazy. Like, there's like very few bodybuilding editors in Utah.
Yeah. He look hardcore. Got the tattoos.
Got the old school. Got the flow, the mustache.
Yeah, he even got the pants. This is my kind of style. He even got the old school pants.
But yeah, he competed this weekend because I guess he was in shape already, and
might as well. I'm gonna follow this guy. I like his style. Look at the American flag pants. This is cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I only met him the one time at the photo shoot afterwards, but
yeah, I'm gonna follow. Oh yeah, 22 years, same year.
Yeah,
they made you one. Dope. Yeah, so qualification.
There you go. Like, there's an example. Like, you could say the same thing if you like qualify and you're clearly not going to be in the top 10 in the men's open, right? You get to be backstage at the biggest show in the world, and they're gonna actually. I'm not sure about classic. I know for men's bodybuilding, they pay for a couple days of hotel and they usually pay for your flight to bring you in. But there's so many classic guys. I don't know if that's the case.
That's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be expensive, man. It's gonna be expensive.
And for all the divisions, I mean, that would be quite a lot of money.
That'd be no joke. But yeah, the Olympia is in 3 weeks, so I guess you couldn't really have more shows if you wanted to. But I know we have the Legion.
Yep.
When is that? Next week? No,
Think
it's
so.
like a week. Is it like a week out from the Olympia? I think so. Like a week out.
Okay,
I think,
so then 2 weeks from now. I
yeah,
think
something like that.
Brett's 2 weeks out. I'm
Yeah,
remembering that.
and then apparently they have a show in France the same day.
France Pro?
Is there like
Men's Open show?
I think so, bro. I think they have a men's because Presti was it Presti? I think Presti is doing a show the same day as the Legion somewhere in
Oh,
Europe. You know,
okay.
something like that. Yeah, but let's see what's going on. Didn't Goob say this guy was photoshopping?
Yeah, well, he's gotten him twice now. Like last year, he got him for photoshopping, and this year he got him because apparently some graphic designer made a shirt design for him,
Oh, that's what I
and
saw.
he
That's what
didn't
I saw.
pay him. It was $300.
Oh,
$300.
you got to pay up, Mike the badass. You got to pay up. You might be a badass, but even badasses gotta pay their fee. So, are we're gonna assume this is not Photoshop, right?
No, he actually looks very good. He's a very good competitor. He's just, I
Yeah,
don't know why he photoshopped his shit.
yeah. I wanted some wow factor. Let me click on. Okay. It's just marketing, bro.
Yeah,
Just marketing. You know, McDonald's they Photoshop their burgers
yeah, that sounds pretty fucking good, man.
on the
McDonald's.
ads. Yeah, it does. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, yeah, he looks amazing. He has crazy proportions, anyways. Either way,
Yeah, I don't know if he's been in the top 10 though. So I mean, it just kind of goes to show you.
it's deep. Okay, so Samson Samson was looking way ahead of schedule. I felt, but I feel like he's not looking way ahead of schedule anymore. He's kind of looking like he usually does. But I don't even know what that means because
Yeah, what does that even
because I don't think I feel like sometimes okay the last prep he did with Milos, or at least we thought he was with Milos.
mean?
he was he I remember seeing him in shape, bro. Glutes, everything in shape. Maybe like a week out, 2 weeks out. Everything dry. But on stage he wasn't dry. So I felt like maybe it has something to do with the peaking protocol, which probably involves insulin and a bunch of carbs, right? Now,
uh, Probably, yeah.
probably, right? Something tells me Marlenka isn't going to go that route. So if he looks the way he usually looks, that's still probably going to be a good thing because he's probably going to just step on stage dry instead of filling up, a body that's already full, So you really can't know. I thought in UK I thought that was his best look. He didn't look as big and imposing, but at this point,
Serious question: has he ever looked flat on stage? Ever?
no,
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 no. Of course he hasn't.
yeah.
It's impossible.
He still looked. I still thought he looked round in UK. He
Of course
just
he
didn't
does.
look. He didn't look as big as usual, but he still was muscle belly was still around. So, and he probably gained muscle since then because he's Nigerian, and apparently Nigerians just can add muscle in their 40s, in
I think
between
it's some
shows.
voodoo magic, bro. It's crazy.
It don't
Um,
even make sense. It don't even
I
make sense.
think
But
big picture, Milos, please don't yell at me. He's probably better off being coached by his wife, honestly.
I think
Uh,
so. Not because not that Milos didn't help him a lot adding size, but he already got those tricks, man. Listen, all right, let's keep it a buck. Most people already have his protocols because he sends it out to so many people. So
yeah,
you could probably find his protocol somewhere and use it if he really wanted to. Now he already has that protocol, so he knows how to get big, and he doesn't need to get any bigger. So I think Milos helped him at the time, and I'm sure he's grateful for that help, and that helped him get to the size he is now. At this point, I don't think Milos would have any benefit on him to be any better than he is, right?
it would be beneficial for Milos.
It would be, you
Uh,
know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen. The fact that you say that there is a protocol, like one protocol,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if Milos does the same thing with fucking everybody or what,
yeah.
but that's goofy. I mean, that's not how you should coach people if that's the case. I don't know though.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
you're saying it should be, yeah. You're saying the problem to begin with is that it should be specific to Samson. Like this motherfucker don't need carbs and insulin. He just doesn't need it, right?
yeah. So like, if
Yeah.
he had done that before a show in the past, I mean, that's asinine.
Mm, mm.
My opinion.
Now, maybe that first show you try it just because that's your thing. But then after that first show, you go, whoa. Honestly, you probably shouldn't even try the first show because maybe try it without first before you try it. But let's say, like what was it? Toby said. He said every coach should have about 2 or 3 tries, right? I forgot. He said because the first time to kind of see where you're at, the second time you pretty much got it, and that third time is when you nail it, right? That's fair. He said after that, like what are you doing? Like, after that, like what are you not making any changes? Like what do you I don't know, so yeah, so at some point you gotta be like, yeah, let's just not fill you out at all. You know. But what do we know? We're just
We're
we're
just
just
meatheads who didn't
like
compete 400 times in the 90s.
see, like this pick, when I saw this when it came out, I'm like, holy fuck, he's dry. And he still probably is dry. Probably just that could have been after like a carb meal or something. But
I mean, the thing, like, a guy who has, chronic problems with conditioning, um, the notion of giving him insulin any time during his prep is just asinine. I mean,
yeah.
again, we're shooting out of our asses here because we don't know what you did, but
Yeah.
just the
I would
thought is hilarious to me.
to be honest, I will go as far as to say I don't think at this point at least, I don't think he needs insulin at any point of the year. I don't think he needs insulin off season, even.
Oh,
So like this rebound, I did insulin a few times, and every single time after like 3 days, I'm like, I can't do this. But I wanted to do it so bad just because that initial pump and fullness, I love it so much. But then I'm like, I see where this is going, and this is not going to go in the right direction for my body type. So it's everything isn't for everybody. I think some body types might need to stay away from certain things, even growth to a certain point. There's top pros who don't push the growth because they're at a point where they have the size and they're getting, maybe what they get from the growth isn't conducive to the best look on stage. Like Samson already has thick skin. Well, thick skin. I don't know if that's but GH can make your skin appear thicker if you continue to run it high. So sometimes less is better when you already have all the size and fullness you need. I think that's why his wife will probably do a great job because what he needs probably is simplicity. Simple, right? Andrew is with Chris Aceto. If does they get any simpler than Chris? That's simple as if fucking, you know.
Chris's diets are like almost comically simple.
Exactly.
Like he doesn't even write out the full food names all the way.
Yeah, chick. It'll be like chick, right? Chick.
Yeah, 150 chick or something. It doesn't even write grams.
Well, why does Chris have such a good track record with black guys? Right? Because black guys body
Suffer so much.
that's it. He literally pulls food, does cardio, and doesn't do well in diuretics, right? Black people do need some diuretics. But
Yeah.
like he's not loading people up on he'll give you a muffin here and there, but he's not loading people on a bunch of insulin, a bunch of GH, and these guys they just don't like. We talked like I tried pushing the drugs high. and I looked and felt like shit. So it's like a lot of these body types need somebody like Chris Aceto, don't need to push the drugs. I think white guys can push the drugs and can push the food and can push the insulin and can look better. But some of these body types seems to be like a lot of black guys just don't need it and can't handle it. So I think that's the kind of approach some of these guys need. And Marlenka will probably be super simple, and then that's probably gonna work out great. Hopefully. I
hope so.
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, because Aceto seems to be working great for Andrew.
You know what the best part would be if Marlenka nails it with her husband. We can finally move on from talking about Milos Sarcev and Samson. We just never have to discuss it again. We can pretend it never happened.
I think I would honestly love to see that. I would love to see him look his all-time best, so everybody could just because I do feel like, I don't know for sure, but I feel like Samson has probably gotten the more animosity than Milos after the breakup. Would that be accurate?
I don't even know anymore, dude.
Yeah, it's hard to say. but more so like as if like there's no way he can look good being coached by his wife, and I don't believe that to be true. I mean, you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't know either way. I don't know what's going to happen, but I would love to see him succeed with him and his wife. Personally.
Yeah. So, are you going to be at the Olympia?
Yeah, we still didn't book an Airbnb, but I'm going. Hey, I might sleep in my car with Kane, but I'll be there. Okay. Yeah. So we'll definitely be there. We just don't have it hashed out. I don't mind staying at a little cheap, crusty motel if I have to. I'll be there.
The cheap, crusty motel in Vegas is still going to be pretty expensive.
It is actually, yeah. Yeah, there's one right by Dragon's Lair. And on weekends, they shoot it up, bro. Like they double the price on weekends. I'm like, it's still the same crusty hotel, bro. All right, let's see. Rafa. Oh, Rafa. I don't think nobody's been talking about Rafa for that top 6.
Goldfish brains, dude. We can't remember.
Yeah. How good do you see Rafa? Honestly, like where do you see like his ceiling in the current crop of guys? Like top 5-ish?
Yeah, I think so. Like I think he could be in the top 6, sure. Because the years before when he did the Olympia and he was like, he was always like, oh, he's just a little too small. He's not big enough. Blah blah blah. He's big enough now. He's definitely big enough.
Looks like it to me.
All the shape and lines. I think his condition at the Arnold and the Brazil show were okay. They weren't great. They were okay. But we know he can get very conditioned. When he worked with Aceto, he was very conditioned. So now, if he loses another 10 pounds, which he might have to do to be that, to be like properly healed, right?
Yeah.
What does that take away from him? He's probably not pressing 200-pound dumbbells at the end of prep like he is here. But, yeah, dude, he's got all the tools, man. I think he has the tools to beat somebody like Hunter, for example.
I was just gonna bring that up. I was gonna say, does he beat Hunter? Does he beat Martin? I think
he can. I think he definitely can.
Yeah.
Hunter and Martin both been real conditioned this year, though. So he was not as hard as them at either of his shows. So
no, he wasn't. Has he ever been in true condition, or has he been hard? Because
the fuck out.
That's what I'm getting at. Because there is a difference, and honestly, I think he's been harder I don't know if he's actually been. When I look at Martin, that to me is like it looks like condition. Like the
Like
man
low
is
body fat. Yeah.
exactly. I actually don't think Martin is as dry as he can be. I think he could actually be even drier. I think he's just low fucking body fat. I think he just has no body fat. If he wanted to really pull water, he wouldn't be as full though. So
Yeah,
that's
I think Raphael is like he was lean when he was working with Chris. I think he was lean,
mhm.
but diuretic to the point where he looked kind of flat and soft, you
I
know?
can see that. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so that's not a great look. I think if he got in that kind of condition that he was in a few years ago, plus the new muscle and not over diuretic, then that would be a good combination.
I can see
Again,
that.
both
Okay.
speculation because we don't know what he's doing, but
Bro got a big ass scorpion on his back. That's a big ass scorpion, bro. Right?
yeah.
What I wonder what was the ideology behind that one. That's a
Uh,
big
it
ass
looks cool,
bug.
dude.
It's a big ass bug. Yeah, but in my head, I feel like that sixth spot is gonna be a fight between Rafa, Hunter, and Martin. Would you think so?
Yeah, and
If
maybe Brandon Curry as well. I don't know.
good point. Brandon is still a really good bodybuilder. It's just that when somebody competes long enough, they just become like part of the lineup,
Yeah,
and they don't jump at you anymore because they're not fresh and new and shit. So you just kind of like, oh, Brandon is there, but
yeah.
like Brandon has insane shape, and bro, he's big as fuck. Like we don't talk about him in that way, but he has a lot of fucking muscle.
He has a
So
lot of muscle, but he's kind of short, right? He's like five
he
seven
is.
ish,
Yeah,
and
he doesn't have short
he doesn't
proportions, but he should.
he doesn't take up a ton of space on stage, you
Mhm.
know, which is kind of surprising because he is so muscular.
Yeah, I remember in the off season he like loses size, right? He like
Oh yeah,
I
he's
think,
like it's the off season. Yeah,
bro, he was at the LA Fit Expo and I see him in the corner. I'm like, is that Brandon? And me and my girl took a picture with him, and I was like, I told my girl, I'm like, you look bigger than him, because my girl like five. My ex, I'm sorry, she like 5'8", and I'm like, yo, you bigger than Brandon. She's like, don't say that. I'm like, I didn't mean like that, but you kind of out angled him. And I'm like, holy fuck. But honestly, I don't think he gives a fuck. I don't think he cares. He's like,
oh man, again, he's like he's a dad, he's a husband, he's got all this other stuff going on. I think he's a part owner in that gym, that carbon culture gym or something like that.
he is. Yeah, he is. The fuck is it? Is that Rafa? He look young as hell. Yeah. I will say, is it me or he like he aged a bit in his
Yes,
face?
definitely did.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
what do
noticed
you
that.
expect putting on a shitload of muscle in a few years? Look
That's
at my
true.
poor ass. Like, I look like I'm 35.
Hey, I'll post. I literally posted a picture from fucking. How old am I now? It was over 20 years ago, and then somebody was like, "Oh man, bro, you look so different. Bodybuilding really ages you." I'm like, bro, I was 11. What are you talking about? am I? I'm like, am I supposed to
I
look the
went
same?
through, I went through puberty.
What the fuck you? I was like, I mean, you're right. I do look very different, but I'm like, the fuck you supposed to be look like an 11-year-old? It would be different if I was like 19, 20. I'm like, bro, what are you? He's trying to make a point. I know the point he was trying to make, but that was a horrible time to make that point. And I was like, bro, this is literally like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm in middle school.
like honestly though, if I look at pictures of myself when I was like 18 or 19, it's
Yeah,
fucking wild how much my face has changed. Like it's
yeah.
doubled in width.
No,
It,
it's a
it's
big
crazy.
difference.
Like my nose has actually stayed pretty similar. My nose used to take up like half my face, but my jaw and my everything is just like way wider. It's crazy.
You think when you're done, it's gonna kind of revert back a little bit, or not really?
Well, partially because at least part of that is just muscle on the side of your face.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but my dad, we have a joke in our family because we have like really big noses and really big chins. Everybody in all the men. So like those are the two things that keep growing even when you stop growing. And my grandfather, his nose was like down to here, his chin was out there. So like that shit, like bone structure wise, it's gonna be the same.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
it'll be narrower just from my, the muscle in my jaws being smaller.
yeah, yeah. I've seen both happen. I've seen people like, let's say, I don't know, what's a good example? Like, I feel like, let's say Phil Heath. I feel like his face didn't go back down to how it looked when he was younger. But then I've seen, I don't
But
know,
he's
Kevin
only 20
Levrone.
years older.
Exactly.
So
So that's the big difference.
yeah.
But then, like, when I see Jay, I'm like, Jay doesn't look like he's 21 again, but he definitely reverted back. But also, you don't know what Jay has done as far as Botox or fillers or so
Jay gets work done for sure. Yeah.
you know. But that's like saying, oh, Mike O'Hearn, he kind of reverted. Yeah, motherfucker, Mike O'Hearn got who knows what the fuck Mike O'Hearn got going on, right? So I think a good way to get an idea of how you look in contest shape, right?
Yeah.
So in contest shape, you kind of look similar, just leaner in the face. So your face, I don't think your face is gonna shrink that much. You know what I'm saying? Whereas some people, if you're, my head goes down like 2 sizes, so I think my head is gonna shrink quite a bit. I hope so. Maybe that's just what I see, but I feel like when I'm in kind of shape, I look like a different person. So I think that tells me that if I lose a lot of weight when I'm done, I'm gonna get some shrinkage in my face and head.
Probably in
Hopefully
your
I
face,
do.
but not your skull. I mean, the
No,
biggest thing,
no,
you
no.
got these big mandible muscles up here,
That's not
and
going on.
then on the side of your jaw, and it
Not
just
going nowhere.
brings the whole side of your face out.
Yeah,
So
that's not
that'll
going nowhere.
shrink a bit, but there's like literally just like bone structure changes from that have happened to you and I from high doses of growth hormone.
For sure,
It's
for sure.
what it is. Now I don't think I wasn't particularly pretty to begin with, but like I don't think it's made it any worse necessarily. So I don't really
No,
care.
I think it's just different. I don't know if it's better or worse. I think to us, we would prefer that look just because we
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
it's younger.
I'd much rather have like a strong chin and a strong brow line than the opposite.
100%. Yeah.
You know?
Well, at that time, I actually wanted my face to look more masculine,
Yeah,
but
of
you
course,
know,
sure.
but now when I look back, I was like, I didn't appreciate that the prettiness, right? The prettiness that comes from not being manly.
Eh,
You don't appreciate it, but I'm like, listen, we're grown ass men, grown women. They don't give a fuck about no pretty motherfuckers. They don't care about that shit. They don't need no pretty guy. They literally just need somebody who's kind of just a man who can take care of business and fucking
yeah, but I
security.
mean, I don't know if I'd say most women are grown women, and
That's a
I
good point.
wouldn't say most men are grown men,
Good point. Good point.
regardless of if they're 18 or older. Um,
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, we're not we wouldn't get extra points from being pretty in the real world unless we're fucking models, and we weren't models to begin with. So who
yeah,
who cares? You know what I'm saying?
fuck it, man. It's too late now. So
It's too late.
uh,
Yeah.
I think like when we're done, like for myself at least, I'm probably going to like go from eating a ton of food to like not eating much at all. But
Mhm.
like probably I'll still be training and stuff, and we'll maintain a lot of tissue. I think I'll probably just get really lean.
Yeah.
Like
I could see
my
that.
look at Guy Cisternino. The guy is just shredded all the time now because he doesn't eat much and he still works out, and he's probably on some TRT, and like that's all it takes to like maintain your tissue. Not all of it, but like a lot of it, and just You're just going to
Yeah.
get people in, which I think
That's
is a cool look, actually.
I think it's a very, very cool look. The guys with bigger frames, they could be deceiving. Like Ian lost a bunch of weight, but he's such a wide guy that you almost can't tell. You're kind of like, you still look big, but then you're kind of like, but you're smaller, you know, or like even Jay. Jay is way smaller, but he's so wide in the structurally that it's like, does Jay look smaller? I mean, he doesn't look as puffy, but he still looks like a big guy, man. Low key, he's still like,
He is a big guy. Yeah.
you know, so it's like there's different looks, you know. But yeah, for you, I definitely see you. I mean, you got a big structure yourself. You got a pretty
Kind
big
of.
structure. Yeah. But probably not as wide as Jay because Jay's pretty fucking wide.
Jay is crazy.
All right, let's see. I mean, Ian. When I saw Ian at his prime at Venice, bro, it was Ian and Nick, and as big as Nick is, or Ian is twice as wide. He's not as muscular, I guess, like dense, right? Like he's not as dense like as Nick, but he's Ian was wider than a lot of people. Ian was one of the widest motherfuckers in the whole league at that point. Very wide guy, you know. So why am I still on wrestling?
We got any questions today?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we do. Yeah, let's do. How long we been on now? We've been on for a while.
I don't fucking know. What time is it?
Let's get the question.
Like close to an hour. I got to get going at like 2 though. So
all right, but yeah, so let's do questions. Well, but talking about wide, who's the widest guy? That's so besides Ramy, because Ramy might have been. Who's the widest guy currently competing? Not just
I
height,
don't know.
not just height, but actually, I want to say Andrew, but he's 6'2", so I don't want to just go by height. I want to actually somebody wide.
I don't know, man.
I guess I would.
Joe is really wide.
Yeah, Joe is stupid wide. Yeah,
But
see,
the guys who are like winning shows and getting rewarded and stuff are not like they're not just winning on structure alone.
no.
You know, just being a big wide person doesn't seem like it gets you the same points that it used to.
I don't think it does. I don't. You know who was wider? First of all, bigger, but also a lot wider than I thought in person. C-Bum.
Really?
Yeah, because in my head, I'm like, I know he has a big structure because when he's standing next to the other classic guys, I'm like, okay, because I've seen Urs, right? I've seen Ramon. I'm like, those guys look big. But Chris doesn't look big until he stands next to them, right? Think about it. Whereas, like, I saw Urs, I was like, Urs, damn, Urs is big. Oh, shit, Ramon is big. But then in my head, I'm like, Chris doesn't look big to me. But on stage, I'm like, well, he is pretty big. He just doesn't have the showboat muscles. You don't have the big arms and the traps. So he kind of just looks. I expected Chris to look like a normal guy, but a little bit bigger. But when I saw him, I was like, he had a big head, big face. I'm like, huh. I thought he would look more like mainstream, but he's actually bigger than I thought. So it makes sense, you know. So I guess it makes sense because on stage he is bigger than them, you know. So I want to see how he looks against Wesley because Wesley's big. I'll tell you that right now, Wesley.
I wonder, like, if some of those really wide structures have gone into classic, you know, and that's why we don't see him in open.
Yeah. Okay. Imagine Wesley in open. That'll be puke. I mean, he'll be big as shit.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I think Chris would look like Dennis Wolf, like somewhat of that look. You know.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm. All right. free Diddy. No, let's not free Diddy. Like, how about that?
You hear about all the fucking baby oil they found in his house?
Why? Yo, there was a video of his son playing basketball in his basketball court, and there's beds all over the basketball court. Why the fuck do you have beds on the basketball court? Like we know why, but that was the weirdest thing. That's like I've heard rumors about these naked basketball games and shit, That's probably why there's beds there. It's like, that guy's crazy, man. There's something else. But I heard there's a RICO case against him, so that means anybody associated with him gonna get arrested.
Yep.
That's better watch your back.
But
That
RICO
means
is like money laundering and tax evasion stuff, right?
yeah, but what they did because they look at it as an entire conspiracy. So, and
Oh,
anybody
okay.
who knows anything or who's helped you with anything, whether it's hiding money or laundering money, or you can't just play dumb. You can't be like, oh, I didn't know the extent of it. If you helped in any way, you can get the same amount of time as him. So, I'm sure some lawyer will correct me if I'm wrong, but either the same amount of time or a similar amount of time. So imagine you getting 20 years in prison because you crunched some numbers for him, or that's gonna be rough. But that's on you, man. That's on you. You got to stay away from those kind of people.
Sounds
Straight
like an
up.
insane abuse of power by the government, but nothing new there.
Nothing new there. Listen, the
Saying
Fed.
he's gonna die here, but like everybody who was around him, probably shouldn't go down with the ship. I don't know.
Yeah, because my only issue with that, if there's a power dynamic,
Yeah,
so if I'm his employee, or sometimes they arrest the wife and kids, right? Motherfucker, if I'm your son, what you want me to say? Dad, no, stop this, Dad. I don't got no fucking. You can do what the fuck you
dude,
want. I got.
the power dynamic is literally why it all happened, right? Because he was like putting on artists in the industry, and they had to do weird shit to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
get put on. And I don't know, I'm not familiar with this whole hip hop.
Mm.
These damn hip hop kids and their shenanigans, but yeah,
what do you what do you want some of these people to do? Let's say Justin Bieber, for instance. Him and his mom living in a trailer somewhere, and he has his opportunity. I mean, he's a child, like So let's say if Justin is a part of his team, and maybe he turned a blind eye. I mean, what are you gonna do? So maybe you can face some charges, but I don't think you should face like a crazy charge like Diddy is. Just lock him up and just lock him up by himself. I don't think everybody needs to go down per se.
put him in
He
solitary with all the baby oil that he had, and he'll be happy as a clam. He won't hurt anybody.
he might enjoy prison, man. He might enjoy prison, but the but the
He's
feds
gonna
as
love
well.
it, actually.
the the feds will wait 15, 20 years if they have to, just to rack up information, right? And I'm like, you're also racking up victims though, but they don't give a fuck about that. They don't give a fuck about that. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
he
not the
also
game they're playing. They want to get like a fat prosecution and get a big old, award from their higher ups, and yeah,
yeah,
justice is not necessarily the goal here.
the go, yeah. Like I'll watch some of these like criminal shows, like let's say with the mob, right? And they've been following this mobster for 10 years. I'm like, you're aware that he killed fucking 50 people and you didn't even give a fuck because you're like, fuck them. I want to get this guy in jail. And it's like, I get it, but damn, he just killed 50 motherfuckers, you know? But then if you don't have the proper evidence and he beats the case and he goes free, now you're really fucked.
Yeah,
So you got to.
kind of a weird moral situation, huh?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what we got.
But on top of that, fuck the feds. Generally speaking.
Listen, man, it has nothing to do with justice. It's always about money and power and being the right,
Yeah.
but it's never about justice. I don't think it's about justice ever. But anyways, best supplement for crazy pumps.
Ooh.
A bunch of them.
Honestly, just like a hefty dose of citrulline malate is pretty good. And it's if you're just making your own pre-workout, right? Go take if you want the cheapest fucking pre-workout ever, buy a bulk bag of citrulline malate and some caffeine tablets. 200 megs of caffeine, 10 grams of citrulline malate, and you're gonna it's kind of checks both boxes right there.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm not supposed to say that as a supplement salesman, but I used to do that when I was younger.
Yeah, you being honest. You know, we keep it a buck here, man. You
I
know,
mean, but that tastes like shit and it's kind of inconvenient. So if you
it
want
does.
all the other, that's like it's not bad, right? You want to
Mhm.
go and get la creme de la creme. Apollon just released a new hooligan version, which is this is actually fucking crazy. Like the
Mhm.
scoop size on it is like 42 grams or something for a serving. That's fucking huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's insane. Yeah, well. First, there's levels to these kind of questions, right? It's like, what's your what's the word I'm looking for? What's your the amount
Criteria.
of
Are you
money
talking
you have?
about drugs? Or are you talking about supplements?
Yeah,
Injectables? I mean, uh, fucking injectable M-Tren is probably one of the best pumps I've ever had. Now, that's really bad for you, and
exactly.
it'll make you want to punch a hole in the wall. So don't do that. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Well, there's so many angles. How much money can you allocate to this to these supplements?
yeah.
Me personally, I don't know if you know this too. I'm a supplement junkie. I'm a complete supplement junkie. I take so many supplements that I don't even know what's working, bro. I just take it anyways. I fucking take
Are you
everything.
talking about like just health supplements or all kinds of stuff?
Health, performance, fucking libido, motherfucking skin. I take it all, bro. And then to the point that I'm like, yo, this is a lot of money, you know. Now, granted, I have sponsors, so I get some of them for free, but I'm a complete nutcase with that. So best supplement, I don't know if I can tell you the best, but I think what I noticed the most, I like salt. First of all, I know it sounds basic, but I
Yeah.
always put
So, fuck yeah.
yeah, I put pink Himalayan salt in my pre workout.
Doesn't even need
But
to be
here,
that. Just fucking table salt. Who cares?
that's true. But here's the thing: I take the supplement, but then I make my own pre workout and mix it in with the supplement, if it makes sense. So I'm with Blackstone, right? So I take Blackstone's Hype, which is the stem one. Then I take the dust. So I take hype and dust, right? It's
Isn't Dust
I
like their gym pre-workout too?
yeah, yeah. So I do. But isn't
Remember
that
back
weird?
in 2016 when they still had DMAA in the Dust formula?
That's
Bro, that was good.
the different level. Hey,
Really good.
shouldn't the stem one be called hype? Because hype,
Isn't it?
no, the stem free one is called hype,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Shouldn't
Okay.
it be the opposite? If it's
I
hype,
don't know.
oh, whatever,
Talk to
whatever.
PJ.
Oh no, PJ doesn't own it right now. He had to take a step back,
Oh,
because of the law.
okay.
So, so I'm the owner right now. I'm gonna step, but but let's yeah. So okay, so I take both the stem free and the stem one, which already has citrulline and glycerol and beta alanine. But guess what? Of course, I go and buy the bulk supplements, and I add citrulline and I add arginine and I add glutamine just because I'm a nutcase, you
Yeah.
know. And
If
I
you
and I,
if you have a pre-workout with 5 to 7 grams of citrulline, just an example, that's
mhm,
probably plenty for the average gym goer. If
mhm,
you're somebody as big as Beatty or me, then you might
mhm.
actually benefit from having like 10 grams of citrulline malate
Yeah,
in just because of the size of our bodies, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. We
just
also
the same
train
way that we need to take more drugs to get a similar result or eat more
more
food.
food.
It's all just
Exactly,
like a, milligrams per kilogram kind of deal, right?
100%.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the thing about supplements, right, is like if you have the time and the wherewithal to go and research a ton of different ingredients and fucking combine them all together into the right proportions, make your own formula, you can do it for less money than you would spend on like
That's true.
something from Blackstone or something from Pollen that's an all-in-one package. But
The
and
convenience
I
and the
used to do
taste.
that. I used to do that in college when I was really broke
Me too.
because I liked looking into all the ingredients and learning shit. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do this and this. I tried to mimic formulas from other companies.
But it tastes
Um,
like poison, bro.
it tastes terrible, and also it's super time consuming. I'm almost 30 now, and I'm just like, fuck that. I don't want to don't waste my time with it.
Okay. I
So
agree. Yeah.
the
I agree.
advantage of having like being with a supplement company, being sponsored by them, or just having a favorite brand. And one of the reasons why I like Apollon is like you can basically get all of your health supplements and all of your performance supplements from one place. They have
Yeah.
everything that I would need, kidney support, liver support, fucking pre-workout, post-workout, protein, carbs. Like they check all of my boxes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and if you just want to not think about it, you're going to be covered as far as like health and performance needs with a company like Apollon. I'm not as familiar with Blackstone. I don't know if they would satisfy that as far as I go, but
Yeah. So, but before getting with them, I wasn't aware that they had that. Like what I knew was, yeah, I knew the dust and the hype. And obviously I knew they had protein powder and shit. But then they were like, yeah, take a look, and I took a look, and I saw they had the PCT, the what do you call it, the liver support, the fish oils and vitamins. I'm like, oh, I didn't know they had that. So I was like, send me everything. I mean,
yeah,
if I have the budget, do I have the budget? Send me all that shit, motherfucker. So they sent me all that shit. So I'm like, yeah, but I even got like test. I even got test boosters. I'm like, hey, if it's free, I'll add in some test boosters. Fucking PCT, motherfucker. I don't give a
yeah.
fuck.
The funny thing about Blackstone is like they're one of the few companies still out there selling like pro hormones, not
Oh
like
yeah,
the fucking pro hormones you could buy at GNC in 2003. They're
yeah,
not
yeah.
that good, but they're
Uh-huh.
still, I don't really know much about them. I'm not going to say they're good or bad or anything, but like they're still there doing
Hey
it.
man, listen, man. Bring Blackstone. What 10 years ago? Was that maybe 10, 15 years
Yeah,
ago? I want those supplements. The supplements that caused this whole case. That's the.
yeah, those are the
I'll
good
probably
old
just.
days, man.
I'll put. You know what's funny? I had said, but before I started talking to like PJ and Blackstone, we had joked about it, and PJ thought it was hilarious. But this is why I like people like PJ. Like he doesn't take shit personally. I literally we were talking about supplements, and I was like, "Oh, they used to. I think I was like, they used to put D-ball in their protein, some shit like that." And instead of him being offended because he literally just went to jail, he thought it was hilarious. Like, that shit is hilarious. I'm like, yeah, it's funny, right? Like anything we say, bro, we just shooting the shit. It's not. He didn't say, oh, you don't like me. Or some people get like that. Oh, why are you talking shit? I'm not talking shit. It's a joke. It's supposed to be funny. And listen, we love that shit. Like, who the fuck doesn't want D-ball in their fucking protein shakes? Give me all the D-ball, motherfucker. I'll take all that shit. Like, I mean, the shit works. I mean, all the pro home and everything. As far as I'm concerned, I would love if they still sold that shit, all that shit. I don't know if
Good
I should be
old
saying
days.
that right now, but I'll
Again,
say it
fuck the
anyways.
Feds.
I'm gonna say it anyway. But they've been really harsh on him too. Like as far as the stipulations and shit after coming out, I'm like, bro, he's not a fucking murderer. Like, calm down,
Yeah,
man. You know. All right,
but
just did we?
I gotta get going, man. Sorry.
My fault. Did we answer that question right about supplements? I think
Yeah,
pretty much.
it depends on. There's a lot of good answers to it. I
Yeah.
don't know, pop an Anadrol or something. That always works for me.
Anadrol, GH, even pre-workout insulin are great, but that's the next level. But Stu,
Yeah,
thanks for coming on, man. You already know,
yeah.
champ. I appreciate you.
Hopefully, we'll get some more people out next time, eh?
Yeah, I mean, a part
That's
of it is
no
on me.
losers. They won't show up.
But
Unprofessional.
as far as guests, though, I got to do a better job reaching out to people because people do be down if I reach out to them early enough. I just got to plan ahead, like weeks ahead. So I'm gonna get on that as well.
Megan.
All right, Snoop.
Megan. Hi, Megan.
She's funny. Hi, Megan.
All right.
All right, bro. You already know, champ.